Hello everybody, welcome back to Songs of Faith. I'm Anthony Bingham and welcome back. And welcome if you are new. First of all, I would like to start off with an apology for not uploading for such a long time. I'm hoping to upload more over the next 2 weeks because I've been given time off. So you should be seeing more videos coming out. Probably once a week or so. Not that many, not many more than what has been coming out recently. But yeah, so over to the video. So today's video is called My Testimony. Now, some of you may be wondering, what is a testimony? I don't know. Well, this is where I come in to tell you what a testimony is. So, a testimony is where a Christian tells their life story on how they became a Christian and why they became a Christian and what they're doing now as a Christian, what God has done through that time span. And that's basically what I'm telling you about today, is what God has done in my life, and to inspire you to seek God in more of a way than what you can do now. So, I'll start off with when I was 7.5 years old. So when I was 7.5, before this time we were going to church quite regularly, quite a lot, but then something quite traumatic happened. My dad died when I was 7.5, and this is where I stopped going to church, stopped really believing. Let's just say that. I don't even know if I did believe at that age, but I'm guessing I didn't. But yeah, and then that continued for a while, and then I came to the age of 10, where I had to move. No, 12. Beg your pardon. Where I had to move to somewhere in Eastbourne to a friend. Bear in mind, I was brought up in Eastbourne anyway, so this wasn't a major change or anything. And I was moved in with my mum's friends, and still didn't really go to church at this point, mainly because they didn't want me to, and all that sort of stuff. But however, we did go occasionally, still, but yeah, and then I was there for about 8 months, had to move, I can't remember the reasons why, and then I moved into a supported lodging home, and then went to a church called King's Church in Eastbourne, which was amazing. That's why I felt like I gave my life first to Christ. I was kneeling on the floor, just soaking up His presence, and I said, God, I give you my life. I give you everything that I have. I'll pour out my heart. I'll pour out my life. And yeah. And that happened. And that's when I thought I really committed my life to Christ. And then about 8 months later, when I was about 13, I essentially moved to Bexhill, because they needed to move me into a proper family so I could have a bit more of a lifestyle rather than being adult straight away. However, that went really, really well, and basically I went to my first ever Soul Survivor there. And now some of you may be asking me, what is Soul Survivor? Soul Survivor is a Christian event that gathers around young people aged 14 to 18 and a bit over, depending on needs. It's a Christian festival that gathers once a year, for a week, but they do a period of weeks over that time, over about a month, and they are just amazing. So basically, you do a bunch of worshipping, you get a bunch of teaching, you get everything. And I had my first ever encounter there, and saying that, that's where I actually gave my life to Christ. I recommitted again, and I said, God, I pour out my heart, I pour out my life, I give you everything that I need, that you need out of my life. And yeah, that and my first ever encounter was just amazing. And now people, let me just put a disclaimer here, that people experience God in different ways. Like, it doesn't matter how you experience God, it could be just be nothing, but God's still moving in your life. But yeah, and I just had this vision whilst I was in that encounter. Just God. If you've never heard the story in the Bible called the lost sheep, it basically explains how God comes after us. That that God is the shepherd and we're the sheep. We're the lost sheep. And it goes as it basically goes, I will come and find. I will leave the 99 to go and find that one that is lost. And what he means by that is that he's willing to take every single sacrifice that it takes to go and find that lost person, that lost sheep. And that's amazing, I find. That is just amazing. And when I heard that, I just broke down in tears, because that was just God showing me his love for me. And then the next year of Soul Survivor, I didn't go because like, I couldn't, and yeah, by this time I was about 16, and so then I went to my second year Soul Survivor after I moved to Bexhill. No, after I moved to Worthing, beg pardon. So I'm getting a bit tangled up with where I've been living, because I've lived in so many places over the last 10, 14 years. I've forgotten. And that's where my friends Hannah and Josh come into hand, and their family. I just want to give them a massive shout out and a massive thank you for being supportive throughout everything, because what they have done is, when I first moved to Worthing, they helped me find a local community church called Movavi Community Church, with some amazing people in it. Like, the community is just amazing. I'm still there to this day after 4 years, and I just love it there. I love Maybridge, and I couldn't go to my first Soul Survivor with them because, unfortunately, I just moved into that area, so I just wanted to settle down, and then at this point I was in a residential home as well, so it was all new stuff to me, and then I go to the year after that, when I was 17, I go to my next Soul Survivor, my second Soul Survivor, and that for me was amazing again. Like, I experienced God's love, him showing me who I am, even an experience of him healing my shoulder, because I had a very bad shoulder at that point in time, so he healed that, which was just amazing. But also, he just loved me. He just showed that he loved me, and he showed me how to forgive other people, like he forgave me. And now, the thing is, with being a Christian, you need to forgive, because God forgave you. He forgave you so that you can live an eternal life. And then going on, I had to move from that residential home, but this was the point where I wanted to move again, because it wasn't going that well for me. So I moved further up in Worthing. Can't quite say where because of confidentiality. But God just moved. Like, that was nice to find a place, and it was with a carer that was not living, but working in the place that I was living in. And that was quite nice. But yeah, God just moved in a way that I never seen in the last 2 years. Because in that year I started working for the younger kids, 5 to 11, which I never thought that I was going to do. And how that started was by doing a kids club. I got asked to do the teas and coffees because I was working in a restaurant at that point in time for the kids, to do teas, coffees for the adults, and little bits of food for the kids. And I said yes, because that's who I am. And God just showed me, no, this isn't what you're meant to be doing. You're meant to be working with kids. And I actually enjoyed being in with the kids more than in the kitchen. And that's a weird experience for me, because I normally never wanted to work with kids till that day. And then I asked the kids leader, can I be part of the kids leadership team? And me expecting that she would go no, shocked me, because she said yes, which overwhelmingly shocked my life. So then I started leading that, and that I just enjoyed doing that, and I still do to this day. Unfortunately, we can't because of COVID. But besides that point, then a year goes by, and I go to my last ever Soul Survivor. The last ever, in fact, Soul Survivor to be on Earth, because they had to end it because God told them to. And that week was just important to me, because months leading up to that, the placement where I was living wasn't going that well. Work wasn't going that well. My mental health was really, really bad. I just needed to get away from everything at that point in time. And yeah, it wasn't that nice. It wasn't pleasant. It wasn't fun. But I went to Soul Survivor, and God set me free from a lot of things, and those things I can't say, and it's not mental health that He set me free from. I wish, but unfortunately that's one thing that you do learn to deal with, and God does set you free, but only to a degree, I find. But hey, but yeah, God just wanted to move that week in my life. I was leading kids group already. I go to this seminar, and now some of you may be going, what is a seminar, Anthony? Well, a seminar is where someone does a talk for about 40 minutes, 20 to 40 minutes, depending on the subject, in faith. And this one was, who am I? So finding out who I am as a person, accepting myself as who I was, and all that sort of stuff. That's what I thought it was about, but it was about who am I going to be. And this is where my life has changed probably the most in the last year. Let me just say that now. And basically, God moved in a way that I never seen in this week. So they use these different Bible techniques, how they teach the Bible to the church, how the Bible how the churches use the Bible to teach the church. And he said 80% of this percentage will be a youth leader. I looked at my youth leader going, no, because I was 80%, if not 100% of that people. And he went, yep. I'm like, okay, I need help now, because I don't know what I'm doing, like getting myself involved with kids. But yeah. So yeah, that's where God really moved, and God just loved. And throughout that week, I spent that solid week praying on what God wanted me to do, and if this was the right thing, because I was doubting myself, and for the next couple months I was doubting myself completely as well, because I just didn't know whether it was the thing that I was able to do, or anything, but God showed me that I was. And then later on in that week, I had an encounter with Jesus. In fact, multiple, because there was a lot of things that I was stressed about, and God was just setting me free from them. And then about 2, 3, 4, 5 months later, there's this event called National Youth Ministry Weekend Away, which our friends at YouScape run, and they are an amazing charity organisation that invests in young people and young leaders in how to do what we do. We had our friends Ollie and Stephen. Ollie from Camden Youth for Christ, and Stephen from Frimley Baptist Church. I just want to give a shout out to them to say thank you, because they come into a massive relevant part of the next part of the story. And basically God, I wasn't meant to go to that event, let me just say that. Even though I was a youth leader, there was spaces already booked up. But basically, I got invited, 24 hours before the event, before we was meant to leave for the event. And that was quite shocking, because I wasn't expected to get invited. But I'm really thankful that I did, because that's where God really gave me the affirmation to be doing youth work, which is what I'm doing now. And then we moved down to a couple months later, where I got unfortunately kicked out of where I was living, and this is where I'm incredibly thankful for what God has done and what God is continuously doing in me. So basically I got kicked out, and they didn't know where I was going to be placed. I could have been placed in emergency accommodation up in Horsham, as far as I know, or up back in Eastbourne, as far as I know. But thankfully God found me a place in Worthing, an emergency accommodation in Worthing to live, which was just amazing. That came really quickly, and I was there for a very short amount of time, which again I'm thankful for, because if you know anyone that's been in emergency accommodation, they do not find places to be very quickly. But then I found this place called the Sanctuary Housing. I can't tell you where it is, because it's where I live and a bunch of other people, unfortunately. But however, it's an amazing place. It's where I can get all the help that I need to live with my mental health and everything. But also during those 6 months, I also had the struggle of leading a youth group, helping lead a youth group with online, thanks to a pandemic. None of us really know how to do this, but I just want to go back to when I said thanks to Ollie and Stephen for doing that talk on social media. They done a talk on how to connect with people and young people through social media with God, and that was really helpful, because it must have been perfect timing, because we need it now, as we are in a pandemic doing everything online once again. But no, and that's where I am today. I've been doing it for about 1.5 years now. Really enjoy leading a youth group. It's amazing fun. You get a massive joy out of it, and because you're doing something positive for the young people, you're showing them who Jesus is. You're really opening up their eyes to who God is and what He can do and how He loves us. But no, I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone that has been a part of my life so far. But also I want to say a massive thank you for you guys watching this video, because it's amazing to be back doing this again. And if you're new, please do subscribe and hit that bell button, and also please do leave a comment. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below, and I will link down the Instagram for this channel, which is onesongs_off_faith, where I will be uploading more photos regularly of how I'm doing, on what God's love means, and when videos are coming out. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you have a lovely day and a lovely rest of your week. Have a good week, and God bless you. Thank you. Bye.